Will Agent Smith return in Matrix 5? Smith, the negative side of the integral anomaly, was the virus that almost destroyed the Matrix universe. When we last saw Smith, he had escaped the Analyst's control and became an unexpected ally of Neo. But what happened to Smith afterward? Could we see Hugo Weaving return? What if the plot of Matrix 5 is about Smith's story? Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Smith began as an agent of the Matrix, those in charge of maintaining the simulation's facade. They are in charge of eliminating threats that put the simulation at risk. They pursued humans and programs that have defected. The agents are the architect's personal military force within the simulation. When Neo destroyed Agent Smith, he copied part of the anomaly's code into him, turning Smith into the negative side of the One. Smith turned into a virus that nearly led to everyone's extinction. But thanks to the truce between the machines and Neo, they managed to stop Smith. Neo loses his life in the process. The sacrifice of the One eradicated the negative part of the anomaly, while a particular program was watching from the sidelines. The Analyst took Neo's body and used it and its connection to Smith to conduct experiments. Those experiments led to Neo, Trinity, and Smith being under the control of the Analyst. Smith was under the Analyst's control until Neo escaped from the simulation again. Like Neo, who had a new residual self-image or digital self-image to prevent other people from recognizing him, Smith's appearance was also changed into a younger man. The Analyst did not want Neo, Trinity, and Smith to recognize each other, to remember who they were, and risk losing control over them. And so he changed their looks and placed them close to each other. Tom in each simulation would meet Trinity or Tiffany and dream of being with her. Tiffany would be married, and a relationship between them was purposely made impossible to cause negative emotions in Tom. Negative emotions produced more energy for the Matrix, and so the Analyst kept all three of them close, but not too close.
However, as long as I managed to keep you close, but not too close, I discovered something incredible. Turns out in my Matrix, the worse we treat you, the more we manipulate you, the more energy you produce. It's nuts.
But Neo's suffering was not only caused by him missing Trinity, but part of it was also the mistreatment of his boss, who was Smith. It was Tom's own personal hell for his subconscious, since he had to work for Smith and see Trinity married to someone else. When Smith manages to break free from the Analyst's control, his demeanor changes. Smith is now a slightly friendlier and slightly less destructive program who seeks vengeance on the Analyst, in addition to him being a surprise hero of the film. Now there is something else that we need to understand about Smith. Smith was the one who nearly fulfilled the prophecy of the One, not Neo. No one has come closer to destroying the Matrix than the former agent. Smith's attitude in Matrix Resurrections is very different from his nihilistic destroyer days in the original trilogy. The reason Smith is now more amicable to Neo is that he has undergone new changes in his personality. Just as Tom lost his memories, Smith also lost his when the Analyst was experimenting on them. And yet there is a much more important factor that we cannot forget that could have influenced Smith, and that is when Neo allowed himself to be assimilated by Smith. If Neo passed on the negative parts of the anomaly to Smith when he destroyed him in Matrix 1, then by allowing himself to be assimilated in Matrix 3, he passed another part of the anomaly to Smith, a more optimistic part. Smith and Neo could be the yin and the yang, but as the symbol shows, in darkness there can be light, and in light there can be darkness. Smith, affected by the anomaly and the Analyst's experiments, has begun a path of recovery and possible collaboration with humans. He was reborn. By the end of Matrix Resurrections, Smith feels superior to Neo and Trinity. He feels special.
You know the difference between us, Tom? Anyone could have been you. Whereas I've always been anyone.
Now there is something that all of us Matrix fans would love to see. Just as Tom lost his digital self-image that made him look like an old man and regained his real one, we want Smith to lose his new digital self-image and revert to his original appearance. That is, we want to see Hugo Weaving again. Originally, Lana Wachowski wanted to bring back the original Smith in Matrix 4, but due to scheduling issues, they couldn't make that happen. In an interview with Collider, Hugo Weaving said the following, and I quote, "Lana was very keen for me to be part of the Matrix 4. I really wanted to, because I'm very fond of all of them. I had some initial reticence about the idea of going back to revisit the Matrix after having already done 3 films. But then I read the script and got an offer to my agent. I immediately responded yes to that, and then we went into negotiations. I was doing a play at the time, but we were working on dates and things so that I could do both. And then Lana decided that she didn't want to change her dates, so I couldn't do it. In a nutshell, that's what happened." End quote. Now then, Smith's story ending on a cliffhanger may be a hint that there is still more of his story to tell. Hugo Weaving wanted to return for Matrix 4, even though Smith's role wasn't that important. But it still means that the actor is still open to do more Matrix projects. Let's say that Matrix 5 is a continuation of Matrix Resurrections. Smith's story should continue to evolve. His arc is not yet complete. From being an agent of the Matrix, to a world-ending destructive entity, and then to an unexpected hero, Smith's character evolution is much more complex than any other Matrix character. But perhaps the most interesting plot for the next film is the Matrix, but through Smith's perspective. What if the movie's story, instead of focusing on Neo, focuses on Smith from his origin to what happened to him after Matrix 4? If anyone has the power to destroy the Matrix, it's Smith. And we believe that a film focused on him would be much more interesting than seeing another movie with Neo and Trinity. At the moment, there is no information about the new movie's plot, only that it was announced as Matrix 5, which increases the probability that it will be a sequel to Resurrections. But we believe that it will be a new story that will expand the world of the Matrix, not necessarily a sequel. Surely Matrix 5 will take place at a different time and setting, an entirely new story within the Matrix universe, or maybe even a prequel. And yet a movie about Agent Smith, from Guardian to Destroyer to Anti-Hero, the one who nearly fulfilled the prophecy of the One, is a much more interesting idea in our opinion. Like Neo, Smith is a pivotal character, and it's about time we see his final evolution, but as the original Smith. Nothing against Jonathan Groff, but we just want Hugo Weaving again. But do you agree? Should Matrix 5 be about Agent Smith? Will he return? And who will play him? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.